This is Kevin McMurray with TrackingSharks.com. I am a Shark Attack research contributor with the International Shark Attack File. Today we're going to review the 1994 Heather Boswell white shark attack. The incident was caught on camera and has been broadcast on several shark attack television shows. Many people do not know Heather was the second person bitten that day, and the footage does not show the bite that took her leg. The background. Heather Boswell, 19 at the time, was on a 6-month term working in the galley of the U.S. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration's research ship Discoverer. On March 23, 1994, the ship was around 300 miles east of Easter Island and about 30 nautical miles off of Cala y Gomez, when 9 of the crew went for an open ocean swim. 3 members of the crew were in a rigid, inflatable boat monitoring the swimmers on the water, while another person watched the activity aboard the ship. Most of the swimmers had been in the water for about 90 minutes, and Boswell about 45, when an estimated 15-foot great white shark appeared. Someone yelled, "Shark!" and at first many of the crew, including Boswell, thought it was a joke. Seaman Phil Buffington was in the water when the shark grabbed his right thigh near the knee. Buffington rebuked the shark by striking it on the head. Around this same time, the monitor on the boat heard a second warning, "I'm not kidding, there's a shark," and looked over the edge of the ship to see the shark swimming toward Boswell, who was approximately 25 feet away from Buffington. Upon hearing the second call for shark, Boswell believed she would be attacked and said that it helped her remain calm when it did. The boat crew picked up several swimmers and saw the shark submerge and then surfaced to grab Boswell by the right ankle. A member of the boat crew stuck a stick out for Boswell, but it was too late. The shark grabbed her right leg, pulling her underwater and shaking her. She later said the shark was chewing on her leg. She was able to fight to the surface where members of the boat crew reached a broom handle to her. The white shark struck again, grabbing her left leg about mid-thigh and pulling her back underwater. Again the shark shook her, and then it pushed her above the water surface. Members of the boat crew grabbed her arms and attempted to pull her onto the boat. Boswell said she heard a pop as the crew, in a game of tug-of-war, tried to pull her from the shark's mouth. She hoped it was just her leg dislocating, but looked down to see her left leg was gone. A shark attack warning had been broadcast on the ship's PA system. A crew member cleaning a pistol that he had checked out for target practice heard the announcement and rushed to see what was going on. The man saw the boat picking up 2 swimmers and the shark swimming toward a person climbing the ladder. He fired off several rounds, and the shark veered away and swam around the stern of the ship. The man followed the shark, and not knowing everyone was out of the water, 2 more shots, hitting the shark in the head, killing it. A radio operator witnessed the attack and hurried to the radio room. The fast-thinking operator quickly alerted his chain of command, who began planning a rescue operation. He remained in the radio room for the night and into the early hours of the next day, relaying messages. Boswell, who was in the inflatable boat, was hoisted onto the ship. The first instance of pain occurred when the inflatable hit the side of the ship as it was being lifted, but really started about 20 minutes after the initial attack. Oftentimes people think that after a person is out of the water, things are fine. However, survival often depends on the actions taken after the attack. Once on board, a crew member used a belt for a tourniquet. Buffington, who had injuries to both legs, was escorted below deck as Boswell was taken to sickbay. Boswell's leg had been severed at mid-thigh. She was in shock and lost a substantial amount of blood. She was unresponsive, cold, and had no pulse as she was placed in bed. After starting IV fluids, a heartbeat was detected. The medical team then examined Boswell's right leg. Though there were large gashes and puncture wounds, there was no hemorrhaging. For the next few hours, fluids were given until Boswell came to. Buffington had deep puncture wounds on the right knee and lower thigh, along with several gashes on his left thigh. He was sewn up using approximately 50 stitches. By 5 p.m., Boswell was stable and did well through the night. Around 7 a.m. the following morning, they began preparing her for medical evacuation, and she was turned on her side. The 130-pound woman was in such a fragile state that she lost all measurable blood pressure, and her breathing became shallow. She was repositioned, and the medical team began a sternum rub and prepared for CPR. Thankfully, she slowly restabilized. A U.S. medical team arrived on the ship and decided the best way to move Boswell was in the inflatable boat. A smart move, as she could be placed in the boat aboard the ship, and then the boat would be placed in the water. Chilean authorities had previously boarded the Discoverer to help as needed after the attack. Once the group arrived on land, Boswell was taken to a local clinic before being transported to Panama. Surgery was performed at an Army hospital, and Boswell was flown to Seattle for further treatment. Many of the rescuers received awards for their quick actions that helped save Boswell's life. From a scientific standpoint, there are several key points of interest. At the time, the water clarity was said to be about 300 feet. This means the shark should have no issue seeing humans. However, based on the location, it is very possible the shark has never encountered humans, much less this far out in the open ocean. It is very possible the shark was drawn to the area by splashing and the general ruckus created by the crew. It is possible the shark was curious as to what Buffington was and administered a test bite to determine if he were prey. However, once Buffington struck it in the head, it moved along. Boswell was one of the last swimmers in the water and such an easy target. The shark bit her foot and then shook her. One would think at this point the shark should understand that Boswell was not prey. However, it made a second pass and took Boswell's leg. After severing the appendage and being shot, the shark continued to prowl the area until it was dispatched. So what was the motivation? Based on the video evidence, the shark was not resolute in its attack, as it leisurely appeared to bite Boswell. So what are your thoughts? Do you think the shark believed Boswell to be prey? Was this an act of predation? Let us know in the comments. Support us by visiting trackingsharks.com. Follow us on social media at trackingsharks. Become a patron at patreon.com/trackingsharks. Thank you for watching, and be safe out there.